Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's ad-free live stream this Thursday morning. Super glad that you're here. If you're here for the first time, my name is Tyler, and I'm here to navigate you through the wild world of day trading futures. During these live streams, I'm going to be breaking down live price action. I'm going to be sharing my daily bias and real-time trades to give you a front row seat to all the action. No fluff, just the good stuff. Now, if you're watching after the stream, you can go through and jump to the specific key moments by using the chapter markers below this video. You'll find all the trades that I've taken along with a detailed explanation so you can learn exactly what I was thinking and why. I tend to get that out every day. I did that for yesterday's video, which was a great video. We had a breaker that was looking to go short, and it went right through that, and we talked through what that was going to look like, and turned out to be a 30-handle trade that a few people on the stream were able to get. So, and for those of you that are looking to take their trading to the next level by using a funded prop firm, I'm happy to say that they have extended and have gone back to their 80% discount. That means it's $33 for a 50K account. I actually just picked one up myself just so I can start building more of my funded accounts. And a 25K account is only $29. You can use the code DTJ to get the biggest and most up-to-date discount that Apex is offering, DTJ. All those links and codes are down in the description of this video. And with that, let's go ahead, let's open in prayer, and let's begin checking out the charts. Father, we just invite you into our trading. We know that you have given us the ability to produce wealth. And Father, we just want to thank you for that ability. And we thank you, Father, for what you have for us today. We receive from you. We don't take. We aren't greedy. We do not lust for more, but we receive what we have, what you have for us, Father. I just pray for everyone a part of this stream now and that joins later on, Father, that you would bless them richly with your favor. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, folks, let's rock and roll. Today we had news, I believe. Let's pull up the news. Share my screen here. I believe we had news. Do I have that on here? FX. I go to it so often that it's at the top of my list. Make sure that's on quiet. Okay. So here we are. Wednesday, Thursday, 8:30 we had retail sales, unemployment claims. 10 o'clock we got business inventories, light stuff at 10. Nothing the rest of the day in US. So we are free and clear to begin our trading. Let's go ahead and check out the charts. We had some movement. I will tell you that, man, it's hard to think that we are going to go back to all-time highs, but I don't know. I mean, it looks that way. So two things that I'm looking at on the higher time frame. Let me remove some of these. Let me remove the new week and new day opening gaps here, and then we'll look at some of this stuff, okay? The first two things that I'm going to look at is the previous day high of Tuesday and of Monday. I'm looking those to be ran today. And then my next question is, do we fill the rest of this fair value gap completely? So this is the rest of that fair value gap. I'm just going to mark that here and put it above there. So we've already filled the lower half of this, and we have the remaining portion of this daily fair value gap. So I'm going to be watching that. I think that's a daily. It could be a daily. It could be a weekly target. So weekly would mean it could happen tomorrow. It does not have to happen today. It could. I'm going to use that as my potential draw unless I see evidence that we're going to move lower. And that could be the case because we do have our opening range gap that's going to be down, a discount opening range gap, and it looks to be fairly large, which means we could have a very explosive morning, which would be really nice. Villainous, good morning. Josh, Deborah, good morning. Glad to have you guys here this morning. Let's go ahead and let's mark our all of our things that we're supposed to mark are previous day highs, previous day lows. I like to do this manually because it makes me pay attention to the charts instead of just it automatically going on there. I prefer it that way. All right, next thing we need to do is let's go to our opening price for the new day opening price, which is going to be right here. Okay, so nothing crazy. We're just going to put one line there since it's nothing crazy. I think it was right here. We'll do the new day opening gap. And it's not a gap, it's a new day opening level. So we're just going to mark that as a single line and put today's date on there. Anything for the new day opening gap that's over a week old, I'll end up removing it. Sometimes I just don't get to it. And so they stack up, and then as I see them, I just remove them. Okay, so we have that. Next thing we would need to put on there is our midnight open. What is our midnight price? That is our midnight opening price. And we have 2 minutes till open. Let's grab our London low. We don't have a London low. Yes, we will have a London lows right here. So because we've expanded so high, we need to mark our London lows here. And that makes this our London high. But we've already ran it, so I'm really not going to pay attention to that. Yeah, I mean, we've just expanded so much. Look at that expansion overnight. This is going to be a huge opening range gap. There's no way we're going to fill it. I mean, it's 300 points. 300 points. It's 300 points. That's how big this opening range gap is going to be. It's going to be gigantic. We're about filled for this opening rate, for this hourly fair value gap. London low's been tagged right there. This honestly could be a trending day. It could be a trending day higher, and we could just pump and pump and pump. I would like to see some relatively equal lows ran. We got some of those right here. We got opening price, so let's mark that. That just opened. There's 930 price. We like to mark that. And this is always in regards to the power of 3. AMD, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So we want to see where the manipulation, if the manipulation is below 930, then I'm expecting distribution to be above 930. It's kind of what happened yesterday. Most of the day I called it out before I got off stream. We'll go over that here also. And then our opening range gap. Let's mark that. We're going to have a large gap right there. And that is from 250 to 573 to 333. So we're looking at 250 points. Good morning, Sandra. $930. All right, let me finish getting my stuff set up. I don't have my copiers all rocking and rolling yet. Here's 830 price. Probably expect that as a data low to be ran. If we can come back up into this fair value gap that was created, it's not the first fair value gap that we would normally mark, but if we can come up into that, overlapping with this breaker, I would be interested in something like that. I will be trading on my micros again. We'll be doing 5 micro contracts. I may increase it to 6. All right, so there's the data low that was ran. Not really an entry for us there. We still haven't gotten a single fair value gap in this first price leg, and it could just be really heavy and drop. That's what it seems to be right now. To be honest, what I'm going to target is these London lows if we are going to continue to be heavy. Now, one thing that ICT has said that this is recent that I've heard him say this, is that when we have an extremely large opening range gap, he will just go short. Like almost immediately towards the 50% level. And I haven't watched this or seen enough opening range gaps to really have that biased yet. So yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on that because it's obviously working out right here, and it's ran 100 points since open. That would be nice, man, to do something like that and be done. I'll take that. Shoot. Yeah, Ted, it could be a Judas swing. I just don't know how far and how long we'll be in this stage for. Ultimately, I'm looking at this previous day high, this previous day high, and then the remaining portion of the daily fair value gap. What's up, Viking? How you doing, my friend? And we are just headed straight for it. I just can't do it. I can't do it, guys. I can't just go short. I've just been burned so many times. I just can't do it. I'm not going to do it. No matter, I can't. I won't. I'm not going to do that anymore. Unless I can find an edge. Unless I can find a real strategic edge. Yeah, you could do that, but how often? In this case, it didn't do any retracements, but how often does it do retracements? Like right there, I'd be out. Now, obviously, the whole desire is now gone because we hit the London low. I mean, there's zero zip, nothing in me that wants to do anything at the moment. But when we were here, absolutely, because I knew this level was here. So yes, you could get in and you could put your stop. The hard thing is, it's so common for it to retrace immediately after a new candle, but it literally didn't. It did it on this candle, but for this one, and this one, there's almost no retracement on the opening of the new candle. It doesn't happen like that as often. Normally you get a lot of wicks. We do have our first fair value gap. We're going to mark that right here. Good morning, everybody. For those of you that are joining, if you guys would like to see the first trade on screen, let's go ahead, hit that like button. Let's get up to 20. When we hit 20 likes, we'll be taking that first trade on screen for everybody to see. Either way, I will talk through the trade that I'm taking. It just may not be on screen. I'm hoping it's sooner than later as well, guys. I mean, hoping it's sooner than later. You like, I mean, here's the thing. Half the battle is knowing what the draw and liquidity is, okay? So we successfully did that. We identified the London low right on when we were writing, when we were marking up the chart. Now, does it mean doesn't mean it's going to reverse. But as far as an initial draw, we identify that. And that's half the battle for you guys, is being able to identify where and what's the obvious level that price is going to run towards. So if it wants to reverse, great. We identified that and we have our targets up here that we want to target, right? If we start continuing to go lower, the next thing that I'm looking at is filling the rest of this opening range gap and tapping the new day opening gap sitting right here. And where's our midnight open? I doubt we get all the way down here, but just in case. Okay, we got 4 more left, folks. Give me 4 more likes and then we'll be taking that first trade on screen. How was the rest of your guys' day yesterday? How did you guys do yesterday? Do you guys do okay? Any aha moments you guys had yesterday from whether your own trading or stream? We're lit. We're green. All right. We're ready to take that trade. Whenever we got it, we'll be taking it. Now, there's several fair value gaps here. None of them do I want to go long in. I do expect price to go like this, but to be honest, I need to see price come up to whatever level it wants to come up to and then come back down and maybe sweep these lows one more time and then run higher. If it's going to go right now, in just a straight up V formation, I can't do that. We have no swing high anywhere. We have a swing high on the 30-second. So maybe the first fair value gap, if we close above it, we can run towards this swing high right here and then see if we push through 930. That's probably the only possibility at the moment. That's the only one that looks, I'm going to give it an A minus, not an A plus. Way to go, Cube. Cubic. Sandra, yeah, you're correct. All these fair value gaps, really, you have to. So what I like to do is look at these fair value gaps and go, where do I have an overlapping confluence? So there's so many here. The next thing you would do is go to the 2-minute. So the 2-minute still has 3 fair value gaps. The fair value gap that overlaps with other confluences is this fair value gap, the middle one right now. So it could either stall at this or it could go right through it and push towards the highs. But this would be the one that I'm looking at. If we jump to the 3-minute, we got 2. If we jump to the 4-minute, we got 2. If we jump to the 5-minute, we have potentially 2, depending on where this candle closes. So it's always better if you have a whole bunch of fair value gaps to go up a time frame just to get a clearer view. So this 2-minute is clear enough for me to see that this is our best option. If price is heavy, it's not going to reach up to here, but could reach up to here. If it's really heavy, it's just going to collapse right now. If it's really going to run higher, it's going to go through this level and probably not stop at this fair value gap. We'll at least tag 930 and maybe hit the swing high. But we got to wait and see. It would have been really nice to be a part of that drop. If we go to the 2-minute, was there anything? 3-minute? No. 30-second? We got this 30-second fair value gap right here that it did close, but it did retrace back up. It would have got us out at break even. Here's an inversion fair value gap right here toward these highs, but I'm not interested in that. We did grab a very minor sell side on a 30-second, but nothing that grabs my attention. Yeah, there is other tools out there, Dwayne, but the easiest answer. So if we go to the 1-minute chart, and I zoom in, you can see where they are. Okay, it's from the candle's low to not the next, but the following candle's high. That creates, there's a gap right there, and that's the fair value gap. Now, this candle, you see this body and that body do not touch. So in that case, we would want to move it down to the body because we want to include this volume imbalance as well. It's very small. but you'd want to include the volume imbalance as well. This is how you mark fair value gaps. Fair value gaps are a huge foundational piece to understanding ICT concepts and to begin to read order flow. So it's not something you're going to learn in a week. It's going to take months to really be able to identify everything that you can do and the way you read price. And fair value gaps is just one of the many, many pieces. For those of you that are joining, if you want to see what I'm seeing on my chart, if you're here for the first time, on the bottom of my screen, I have the time. The time is always going to be UTC4. It's always going to be New York time. Always, always, always. Everything is New York time. Everything runs off New York time. I'm not going to do my local time. There's too many of you out there that live all over the world. We reference New York time always. Okay, we are in the 10 a.m. macro time, which is 9:45 to 10:15. That span of time is a macro where we expect price to move with less manipulation. And we want to see if we can find our model within that period of time. So far, we haven't seen anything. Models that I would want to take. To me, this does look like a giant manipulation leg to then run these highs. I'm just thumbing through the time frames, trying to get an idea of what I think is going to happen with price. Ooh, that's interesting. Look at that, guys. The hourly wicked down just below, obviously, our London low, but it wicked into this hourly fair value gap. I love to see that kind of stuff. If it closes with a large wick, if this closes with a large wick, like it has here in the next 10 minutes, that means the body's way up here. This is a indication that we move higher. We just closed above this 5-minute fair value gap here, creating it in an inversion fair value gap. It doesn't mean we explode higher in this at this point because we have this giant 5-minute fair value gap right here. There's too much that can happen in this candle that we would not want to do anything with that. I am still watching this data low because that data low also is a breaker. Data low meaning it's the 8:30 candle and there was news that happened on this candle. So that's our data low, meaning the data that came out at 8:30. We call it the data low, data high. They typically like to be ran. Oh yeah, I had FOMO there too, Deborah. Actually, there was no fear. It was just freaking, I'm missing out. All right. This is the kind of price action we don't want to trade. If it does this all the way up, we will stay out of it the entire time. Okay? That's not what we're looking for. We don't want that. We need to see displacement. Displacement isn't in a series of 10 candles. Displacement is in one candle, 2 candles that show us it's did what it wanted to do and it wants to run the other way. We didn't get any type of displacement here. It's displacing on higher time frames slowly, but I don't want slow. I am taking note on how big this opening range gap is. I talked about this already. I am taking note and want to see in future trading sessions when we have a gap that's 250 points over, 80 to 80 plus handles. I want to see how we react to that gap immediately. If we start going into that gap immediately, do we continue? Do we just wick down and move higher? I want to keep track of that because this gap is just, like I told you right when I started, I'm like, we have this nice, beautiful opening range gap that has a high probability of getting filled and just has beautiful price action in it that, man, if I could just get a portion of that 100 handles that it ran, give me 50. Give me 30. That's all I need. That's all you need, folks. I did request another payout yesterday. We got paid out, confirmed it. I requested the payout in the morning. Now, I didn't expect them to approve it in the morning. Why? Because there's a trading day. They want to see if you blow your account or not. So after the market closed, and it was about 6 o'clock when the market reopened, they approved the payout. So I'm not having any issues with Apex. So if you are going back and forth between firms, all of them are great, whichever one you like. I do have an affiliate link with Apex if you want to support the channel and support me here. But I think there's pros and cons to both of them. I'll just say that. My funded futures. There's a couple other ones that are out there. It sounds like they just changed that. Yeah. I believe I was just talking to my brother yesterday and he was telling me about it. It was an email that was sent out and it's after this current pay period. So my assumption is it's going to be from after the 15th through the 20th. After that, I think it begins. It's either that or begins the beginning of November. But that means basically every 8 days is all you need. 8 days of trading. And then you can request a withdrawal, which is super nice because sometimes you don't get it in time within your 10 days and that specific period of time that you need. Yes, you can request any day. Yeah. Okay, this is what I'm talking about, displacement. This is the displacement I'm talking about. I want to see something like this, but it's not going in the direction we want. But I expected it I didn't expect us just to go like this. And I said if we did that, I would not take anything. Now that we're doing this, here's what I want to see. I want to see this and then that. And then I want to see a fair value gap right there. That's what I want to see. When we close above this fair value gap, we target that high. That's what I want to see. Do we get it? I don't know. Yeah, that's correct. No more 1st and 5th and 15th and 20th for payouts. It's just 8 days of trading, and then you can do your request. Now, the other rules still apply. If you're on a 50K account, that means you have to make $3,000 and then an additional $500. So after $3,500, you can make your first request. And the minimum amount you can request is $500. The maximum is $2,000. For the first 3 months, and then after that, there's no cap on what you can request. Okay, what did we do? We swept a little bit of a sell side right here. We didn't run all the way down here. But if I'm interested in this, I want to see aggression. Basically, if I'm the algorithm, I'd be saying I want everybody to think I'm going short. I want to make the candle obvious that everybody says, oh, we're going back down, lower, lower, lower. And then I want to aggressively go the other way because I want to trap all those that went short. Does that mean we're going to do that? No. But that's kind of the idea behind why I would want to take a long if it's aggressive. And quite frankly, there isn't an opportunity for me to go short anywhere anyway. There's not a single fair value gap here anyway. Yeah, there's nothing there. I'm not taking none of that. No, it's 2K per request. And that's also per account. So if you got 10 accounts at $2,000, that's 20 grand. There's not an issue with doing that at all. So as in like it's not a I thought at first I'm like, "Oh, they're limiting me." But when you can copy 5, 6, 7 accounts, it's irrelevant. Sandra, the setup is a little tedious because it's something new, and anytime you do something new, it's like, am I doing it right or whatnot? But once you have it set up, it's literally like all I did this morning. I went in and I put in a request for a 50K account, hit enter. I opened up my copier, and boom, there it is. And all I had to do is make sure it's selected when I'm doing the copier, and that's it. Now, because there's more steps, what I would recommend is creating a checklist of steps you need to go through. And listen here carefully, folks. If you want to copy accounts, I've done this long enough to where I don't need to do this, and I should have done it when I started. But create a checklist of everything you need to check before you open or close your copier machine, because you could leave a trade or a stop loss on. You could have not removed all of your trades. There's multiple things that could happen, so you just want to make sure you have a checklist of all the items you need to go through. Yeah. Are you using Replicanto? No. I'm using, it's from Trade or excuse me, it's from Apex. It's called the Apex Copier. I'll drop a link. There's no affiliate or anything. But I hear I've never heard of the other one, but I'm seeing it now as I'm pulling it up. All right, you can see that we're just dropping here. Now we're into this hourly fair value gap a little bit more. There was not an opportunity to go short here. Okay, there was no opportunity for a short. All right, let's see how this reacts here. If we're aggressive, this is still a big candle. I don't like how big that is. What if we go to the 30-second? I mean, this looks heavy. It's hard for me to want to go long right now. Yeah, I see that. And there's a previous day high here as well. This, if we are going to see higher prices, we need to find support here. Not necessarily at this exact level, but we shouldn't be down here too long. Morning, Jason. The hardest thing about trading is, for most people, the waiting game. The waiting game by far is the hardest thing, because how many of you are clicking the button while we're waiting here? I haven't clicked it once. It is by far the hardest thing to do. Can you be patient and just wait for an A+ setup? Now, it doesn't mean there can't be any other A+ setups outside of what I'm trading. I'm not saying that. But if you have taken a trade, my question to you is, did it meet 100% of your requirements? Was it a model or was it more speculative in nature? Because where I made my most mistakes was when I was doing speculative trading. Hey, I think, oh yeah, we are found resistance here. I think we should go higher. We're at a previous day low. Yeah, we should go higher. Oh, we went above this order block. Yeah, we should go higher. I'm going to go long. That kind of stuff. You can't do that. Sometimes it will work in your favor when you see a pattern enough. You can get a slight edge, but in most cases, there's really no edge in speculation. Jason. Well, I'm glad you recovered. We're still at the London low here, London low, and previous day high. So, and a fair value gap. So, to me, there's reason for us to find support here. I just need, now that I have a speculative idea, I need confirmation by seeing an entry model. And the entry model, which this would be one, it's just absolutely gigantic. It's this fair value gap right here. This is a 40 handle fair value gap. 40, huge. This is a do not take this trade type handle. The only way I would be interested in it is if we get a close here where we do not close above this level. We have a down close candle creating a potential order block, and then we close above it right here. This down close candle would act as support because it's an order block. And then we could see something like that and then a move higher. Now, all these levels are absolutely huge, so it's so important to take into account that this candle, even though it looks like a normal fair value gap, that is 40 handles, okay? So price is really moving this morning, and it doesn't take much to get 10 to 20 handles. We just created equal highs right here, but we're also in the discount portion of this fair value gap, meaning we could see this move lower. I want to see us start pushing up into the premium portion of the fair value gap. And to be honest, where did the 4-hour close? If I'm honest, on a higher time frame here, I can see reason for us to go lower. I really want to hit these previous day highs, but if it's not going to show me structure to do that, I'll disregard that and I'll start looking for these lows. You got this previous day low down here, and we could see an expansion lower. Basically turning the candle that we currently have on the daily time frame into a giant wick higher. Right? This could turn into a down close candle down here with this giant wick just to manipulate everybody out, and now we're just moving lower. So if this is the case, let's talk about that. If we are going to see lower prices, our best opportunity for a short is above midnight open. Our best opportunity to get short is going to be above midnight open. Because this is the accumulation, manipulation, distribution, and we're using our midnight open as our fulcrum point. This fulcrum point is our point of interest. If in fact we are looking for lower prices. I'm not sure yet at this point. Here's a fair value gap with a sweep with these equal highs. Would be a nice easy trade if it gives it to us. This is a much more reasonably sized fair value gap in relation to size. It's 6 handles. So a close above this actually is not that bad to run these equal highs. Technically, this one swept that one, but I'm still considering them equal. Let's see what price wants to do. The risk is small enough that I'm willing to take this. I'm going to get in right there. And I'm going to have a hard stop here in case it just wants to just explode lower. This is a risk I'm willing to take. I'm going to change it to 4. Keep a runner on. Once this candle, if this candle turns green, I'm moving my stop to break even. Once we run above that high, it stops at break even. Stops at break even. Let's see if it wants to not stop me out. There's no reason for it to stop. Okay, so it stopped me out. I'm fine with that. I don't know why it filled me. The candle never actually went down there, but it literally grabbed my stop loss. So it got me out at break even. That's crazy. I was even above break even and it still took a handle of a loss. But it ran our level. So right trade, right analysis. The fills were just a little sloppy, to be honest. Okay. Hopefully you guys were able to see that and understand what just happened. I moved my stop to break even quicker than my rules require me to because of the volatility and because of how big some of these candles have been. And I refuse to take, a burner candle to the grave and take a 40 handle stop loss. So when I see it run past this and there's no other reason to return lower, I expect it to run up here. So if it's going to stop me out, that's fine. And it did that. Here's a propulsion block. I'm looking at this as a propulsion block, meaning this candle should explode higher right here. Let's see if it doesn't. If it doesn't, that means this candle is not a propulsion block. But this is how you start learning to anticipate price. Order block, wick, down to it. We should see an expansion. I'm willing to take break-even trades. I don't feel bad about it at all. I would rather have 5 or 6 break-even trades instead of one loser. This can still be treated as a propulsion block, but it has to happen in the next candle or two. Usually only 2 or 3 candles. We need to start seeing this actually take place. If it doesn't start expanding here, maybe we can come back down. Oh, it looks like it is expanding. We just created this order block right here. See if price respects it and moves higher. This is just such a large fair value gap. So we're going to have a little bit of resistance here because we're inside of fair value gap. But it certainly looks as if we're going to break through it. And this turns into an inversion fair value gap just based on how much time we're spending in it. But it's not a reason for us to go long. At least for me. Do we got a 5-minute change in state of delivery? This is going to be our 5-minute change in state of delivery right here. It's this candle because it's this candle that we ran into the previous day high. And this candle here was the one that went into the London lows, but we obviously went lower than that. So we got 32 seconds on this candle. Let's see if where it wants to close. Man, that would have been nice if I didn't get stopped out. I'd be done for the day. What was the size of that move? We're good. I got in right around here. $16 handles. Yeah. I like 10 to 20 handles. We're outside the macro time as well, so it's 10:20 right now. It means we got about 25 minutes till the next macro. It doesn't mean you can't get a setup here. And to be quite frankly, we really didn't get a setup in the 10 a.m. macro. So if we're not getting a setup in the macro, are we going to get a setup in outside of the macro? I don't know. I tend to be partial to waiting, but we could see an expansion here. Let's see if it wants to run that high. I don't know if I want to take this long. There's just too much risk in that. Too much drawdown risk. It would literally need to just expand. If it came and touched this level here, I may be interested, but I'm guessing it's just going to expand to this level right here. Because that's 43. That's 10 handles right here. This is a higher risk trade. So do I want to risk my capital on it? Even though it could work out, it could absolutely work out. It should work out. But I don't think I want to risk my capital and have a chance of it going for a deeper retracement. So I'm not going to participate in it. A handle is 4 ticks. I'm going to zoom in really closely here. Okay, so we got every tick, it goes every 25 cents. So this is 449, 449.25, 449.50, 449.75, then 450. The distance from 449 to 450 is one handle or 1 point. It's used interchangeably. So it looks like that trade would have worked out. I'm not willing to risk multiple copied accounts to take a loss. I know that I can get something that has less risk for me to take. So in about 2 minutes, we will have a candle close above this 5-minute change in state of delivery, which means in my mind, I have confirmation to look for some type of long. And I like how this 5-minute change in state of delivery is right in between these fair value gaps. I like that, and it's in line with this order block. So this is a 5-minute order block. Fair value gap here. We'll see what price wants to do. But I mean, we really don't have much structure as far as a breaker leg. It's all really low. So we'll just have to see what price wants to do. The 15-minute will close in 5 minutes. And the 15-minute is also at the same point the 5-minute change in state of delivery is. A change in state of delivery is just, it's changing the way it's delivering price. So this has been sell side delivery. When we close above this 5-minute or this 15-minute, it gives us more confidence that it's no longer looking for sell side delivery, it's looking for buy side delivery. And so then, meaning the algorithm has instructions to start moving higher and we can be confident to take a long. I mean, I'm not mad. I'm liking how price is moving so far. It's refreshing. It's just we haven't had any setups that I can confidently take besides the first one that I took, which was down here. That was by far the best thing that we've seen this morning. And it just happened to wick me out by, I don't even know how it wicked me out. I never saw the candle actually touch my limit order, which is frustrating. Because then it literally ran to the price right away. Now, I know on the other end, those watching here, it's hard to say, wow, look at all this opportunity that I missed, and Tyler sat here and he took nothing. He took one trade. Man, there has to be somebody else out there that was able to play this. There could be. But the question is there a tradable, repeatable model on why they took what they took? I'm not seeing anything that I can feel confident to go long or short in based on the models I trade. And I trade two models. I trade the inversion model, which we took right here, and then I take a breaker model. The breaker model would have been, in this case, it would have been right here. It wasn't obvious enough for me. So we have a low, high, lower, low. When price breaks through that and comes down to that level, we can look at that as a long. But we are in this consolidation and we are unsure if we were going to go higher or if we were going to continue lower, because really it's looked as a sell program so far. So I was not confident to take this long against what the trend could be. This I felt more confident about because of the aggression of this candle and the fair value gap right after we swept these lows. This is a signature in price I see all the time, that when we sweep this low like that and then we are aggressive the other way with a fair value gap sitting there, I'll take that long. I called this, the term I called this was a nail head. It looks like a nail head, flat top, long wick with a fair value gap over here. We'll leave this on here. Let's see if it actually wants to come back down to that level, or if it's just going to blow right through it. Do you see how much larger the down close candles are and how poorly these up close candles are? Man, it makes me not want to look at a long at all, because it's struggling to move higher. That's why we're looking for this change in state of delivery. The 5 minute, we officially have that change in state of delivery right here. Well, I'm going to look at this as straight up manipulation to go higher, because that 100% looks like that. So if we are getting that and we get a close above this in this candle, we have equal highs. We might need to drop down to the 30-second. There's that fair value gap right there. So we can't do that. There's a good chance this runs without us, but this looks the best. This is another nail head. Nice quick drop. If we get an acceleration and we're moving towards these highs, I will take that long. It's very tight. Let's see, 456 to, oh, that's 10 handles. So if we get a close that's relatively close to this, that's an opportunity to go long. Now it could retrace immediately inside this large fair value gap. That's the only risk we have, in my opinion. So it's not going to close. Let's see if the next one closes. Based on this 15-minute candle, I think we need to go down. Very rarely will I see a 15-minute candle that has almost no wick on the sell side of it, on the bottom of it. But it could. It could wick these highs, run these highs, and then move lower. But to me, if we have hit our sell side target, this would be a huge manipulation. And see how it wicked into the breaker? So I'm using this as, okay, evidence that we might want to go higher. Do we want to go higher aggressively? Now, I'm looking at the time. I just looked at the time just now, and it dawned on me that it is 10:30. Typically, you will get, not typically, but it's not uncommon where you'll get manipulation at the half hour. It could be small, it could be moved. This is definitely exaggerated in line with how big these moves have been. But this could absolutely be viewed as a manipulation because it was done around 10:30. I do not want to go short. I want to, but I don't. We have this fair value gap here. We have this mitigation here. This fair value gap that we found resistance in. We're staying in the discount portion of it. There's the close. We just don't have a target. It's too far away. So I can't take that. It's too far away. With 0. I mean, we have the midpoint of the fair value gap. But I just can't do that. I thought that this was going to move a little bit quicker. Come on, man. We created an order block right here inside this fair value gap. That gives me more confidence on higher prices. I want to see this treated, this candle act as a proportion block. That'd be nice. Not just close beneath it. If we close beneath it, it's telling me we need to stay out till the macro. Dang it. Come on. I was hoping it was going to give it to us. We just filled this fair value gap completely at this point to the tick. Okay, if we're going to drop, we're watching equilibrium of this level here. Of this wick. We'll treat it like a fair value gap. We want to see if it wants to stay above or if it wants to push beneath the equilibrium. If it pushes beneath it, a higher probability we run these lows. I'm seeing the formation of maybe a mini micro market maker sell model. Accumulation. You got your consolidation, your accumulation, smart money reversal potentially, and distribution lower. We do have this fair value gap here. Interesting. It's the only one left. And we haven't closed below it. If we close below it, we would target these lows down here. Doesn't look like it's going to give it to it. Jesse, good morning, my friend. So here's the close. It's way too low from the fair value gap that we took, but I expect this to be ran. Based on this candle, I could see it done relatively quickly. I can't take it, guys. I mean, I'm not going to risk my capital. Yes, it makes sense where you're not risking. It could have been a win, but I've been wrong so many times in the past, folks. Yeah, I've gotten significantly better in my price reading, but still. I mean, this is the type of trade I would do on an evaluation account. I'm not going to do it on my live accounts. I'm not going to do that anymore. And I'm kind of talking to you, but I'm talking to me. I'm really talking to myself. And I'm hearing myself say it to convince myself that you don't want to do this. See how we stopped at the equilibrium? Technically, we could still see us go the other way, but we did close below it, and this displacement candle with this fair value gap makes me fairly confident we want to run this way. It will get, when there's a move, we will know it, and it's going to go. It's going to go. And because we've had some news today already, I'm partial to wanting to hold for a bigger move. So I may not sell at 10, 20 handles. I may look for a 30, 40, 50 handle move. This would have been really nice if we left a fair value gap here and we swept this low. If we were going to start exploding higher. We do have this really small fair value gap right here. I don't like it. We didn't grab this wick. That's my only thing. We did tap this breaker. There's nothing on the 2-minute. Wait, was there on a 2-minute? No, there is a 2-minute. This is better. But still, we never grabbed liquidity. So I won't be taking this. But, I mean, it's a B+. It's a B+ setup. It would have been perfect if we grabbed this low. Yes, we're redelivering off of this breaker right here. But based on how big these candles are, 2 minutes is too much time. Honestly, we need to kind of go down to the 30-second. This would have been an entry right here. Still, I wouldn't have taken it because we didn't grab any sell-side liquidity. This small fair value gap right here was closed here, and then it exploded. Do you guys see that? We closed above it, right, on this candle. And then from there, we've just launched to this high. But it's missing my other requirement, which is sweeping a low. So this is an A minus, B plus type setup. It would have become an A plus if we swept this low. So let's watch that. Watch that, folks. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it fails or not. We're not taking it, but it's always good to watch those that you don't take to see if it fails or not. This would be the target here. But because we didn't sweep it low, this now looks more enticing to me, to be honest. So it looks like this is going to fail. We have a nail head. Let's see if that wants to turn into a close below this level here. I'm going to go short there. I'm looking for it to run this low right here and these lows down here. All right, stops to break even. I got 40 points there, or 40 ticks. So I'm going to see if it wants to push all the way down here. So now this is a risk-free trade. Once we hit this low, I'm going to sell one contract. All right, one contract sold. I'm going to sell two contracts. Oh my gosh. I just added to my position. I'm selling. I just freaked out. I clicked the wrong button, and as soon as I did that, I literally freaked out, and I will close the trade. I will not sit and then just see what happens. Holy cow. I'm done. Out. Get me out of there. Whoo, boy. It's like the adrenaline just spikes right there. But folks, did you see that? Did you see? I mean, we waited how long? How long did we wait for this trade? We waited an hour and 15 minutes for one trade, for that right there. An hour and 15 minutes. But I still got 25 handles on that. And that is nice. 25 handles. So I traded 5 or 4. I bought a 25K account, and that 25K, because I over leveraged it, I blew that account. So I have 4 50K accounts, and then I bought another 50K account because I'm like, I'm done with the 25Ks. The 25K doesn't work well with NQ. So I ended up, I over leveraged my eval account too. So my eval account is up $1,800. I'll show you guys. Here, I'll give you guys the juicy stuff. All right, so here's my big monitor. Here's my copied accounts. That's one trade. You can see over the history how many funded accounts I've had, how many eval accounts I've had in the past. And this is over about 2 years. So if you're like, man, I've done a lot of eval accounts. Well, folks, I've probably done more. That was it. With how big these wicks are, yeah. I'm closing my copier and I will go to my eval account if anything else pops up. And I'll put it on the main screen because I don't like trading on the other screen, to be honest. Dwayne, I'm not a fan of doing it. But I've been on the other side so many times. I've been on the other side so many times that I wanted it. It's like, can you just show me so I know you're not making all this up? Can you just please help me get rid of all of these lingering thoughts that everybody's faking this stuff? So I totally get it. I don't do it very often. I don't know why I did it there. I just felt like I needed to. Look at this breaker that we marked. Look at this breaker. I mean, I honestly, this is news to me. This is something that I haven't been paying. I really didn't put a lot of thought into this breaker, and look how many times it's referenced it. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to hold it, but holy cow. Yeah. Let me go down to, hang on, let me see here. Is there any opportunities here? Ooh, we got a 3-minute. Look at this 3-minute. IS. Precise. What it says, which buttons do you use to place trades so you can move TP and stop loss on TradingView? I made a video on this and I will drop that here. Let me drop that down here because I had those same questions and honestly my thumbnail on this video sucks. So it doesn't surprise me nobody's watched it. But let me grab it for you. I'm watching this level. We got 43 seconds left. Here's the video right here. Watch this video. I go over all of that. I think I'm going to go short here. I'm doing one mini contract on my eval account. I'm confirming it's eval. Yep, we're on eval. We are in a macro time. I'm looking for these lows to be ran. This trade will be violated. And guys, I'm looser. I probably wouldn't have done this trade on my funded accounts. I would not have taken this on my funded accounts. I'm on eval. Okay? I'm just being very clear. The trade will close if we close above this, but I'm not going to sell anything until we hit this low. And we honestly could push further down to the new day opening gap sitting down here if we really are aggressive. Let's see what happens. I'm probably going to move my stop to break even. There's 3 minutes on this candle, so there's a lot that could happen. Okay, stopped out at break even. My son's staring at me at the door. What's up? Don't worry about trumpet right now since you did it late last night. Practice your drums. I want you to do your reading out of from Joyce Myers. And then devotional time. And then you'll do your reading after that. The Joyce Myers book. How to Hear the Voice of God. After your quiet time. Okay? And then, if you are wanting to play the video game, I need to make sure your room is clean. That means all closed. So even you're picking up your brother's stuff, okay? I like your hair like that. I'd rather no hat, but... What does the 1 minute look like? I do like that. A lot of resistance here. Let's see what happens here. Do you see what I mean? Like, look at that. I would not have taken that short on my funded account. 100%. I'm kind of baffled on why did we stop here. Yes, we grabbed liquidity, but why here? There isn't a fair value gap on the 30-second. Is there one on the 15-second? There's sell side here. Wow, I don't even know. Look at those wicks on the 5 minute. This is just straight up nasty. All right, so I see this breaker following all the way through. I see this breaker right here as well. So kind of overlapping breakers. The idea is seeing multiple confluences overlapping with each other to find support to potentially run for higher prices. Let's see if we can get a close and a support down here without it running these highs. Son of a gun. I don't want it to go any higher than that right there. I would still play that as a long, but I'd want to see price to come back down here. Not that far. Come on, folks. Come on. Come on. So, notice, I'm putting out a notice. This is eval only. And the way I trade eval is a little more loose. I probably shouldn't, to be honest. Is that how you, that looser, right? The 1-0 is loser. I think we might be in a sell model. Look at the 15 minute. The 15 minute has now confirmation of an order block. We have an order block close right here. Order block close right here. We close below it. We have the buy side and sell side running effectively. I think I'm going to look for shorts for the to the midnight open. I don't think I want to go long. It's just been too difficult to go up, and the downside moves have been effortless. Literally effortless. So I would be watching this fair value gap right here. We still have London low that's sitting right here. Still finding resistance. Yeah, we went higher from it, but still. As you move down lower through it, eventually you'll find it having support as we see lower prices. Deborah, I think you're right. We did sweep this level here. Yes, it's equal highs at this point. It looks like equal highs, but we did sweep it. So an aggressive move lower, I would be interested in to run that low and potentially that one. And it's 11 o'clock in 30 seconds. I wanted to go to the 2 minute, but there's really not a good 2 minute fair value gap. That's too small. $11 o'clock right now. Let's see if it finds rejection here. I might pre-run this. I think I'm going to sell short there. This is definitely premature. But I looked at this coming up into the London low again. Seeing it find resistance and wanting to see if it wants to run lower. I could be premature on this trade, folks. I will close this trade if we have a close above London low. I said below, I meant above. If we can get a close below in 18 seconds of this green candle, that's good news. Turns this into an order block. If we don't, I might just cut it short because I'm not liking overall. I'll just close the trade. It's too consolidating. Folks, I'll be right back. I have to use the restroom. Oh, look at that. It ran in my direction. I was thinking about something though, folks. I think I'm going to play that actually. We did run this low. Let's see if it wants to run this low right here. This trade is a legit trade. A close below this fair value gap is a close of the position. I want to talk about the difference between my funded account trades and the way I was trading and my eval trades, because you should obviously be able to see a big difference. All right, I'm holding on to this. I expect it to move at this point. If it comes back up and we left that low, come on, run that low. That was too big of a candle to turn all the way around. I'm honestly looking at the 1017 price here. I'm not going to let that run against me. I didn't close that position. I really wanted to see this low hit, but I want to take a second and I want to talk about if this runs now here, that's just red, black, red, green, red. Interesting. I want to talk about real quick. Hang on. I'm seeing these equal highs here. I bet you those are what it's going to run for. If it's willing to do that here, it's probably for these. So I want to talk about My funded account trades, we sat for an hour and a half and took 2 trades. We waited. A lot of patience, a lot of discipline. And then I moved to my eval account, and what have I done? I've taken like 3 trades in 10 minutes, haven't I? 3 trades in like 10 minutes. I even put it up here. I need you to identify the difference here, okay? I need you to identify the difference of what it takes to see success. I was disciplined waiting for the perfect setup that just spoke to me, right? I took those 2 trades. One got stopped out, but it worked out, 15 handles. The other one ran beautifully for 25 handles, okay? This one I got in early because I'm going to tell you why. Because I needed a release from being so disciplined. I needed to just get it out. I just needed to click the button. Can I be honest? When you know yourself, if I blow this account, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do I care about it? 4. It's a 4. It's almost, when I pass, I'm like, okay, great. But I'm not dying over it. And I almost use my eval accounts as my release for being disciplined with my funded accounts. You need to know yourself enough to be able to figure out how, if I'm going to be disciplined, I need an outlet. I need an outlet just to go, okay, I can relax. This is kind of that for me at times. And that's why literally I put this up here, because I'm like, I need you guys to know the way I trade is completely different when it comes to my eval setups. Because I know that we sat here for an hour, a little over an hour 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes from when I started the live before the first trade. That's tough. That's tough. Okay, this is the move, folks. This is the move. Look at the difference between these candles, green candles, and everything else. Okay? Here is our last one. If we can get through that, we have low resistance liquidity sitting right here to these highs. Okay? So if we can get through this right now, fairly quickly, we're looking at this as an aggressive push higher. That's what I'm looking at. A big candle through this. Okay? So if I'm seeing this as an inversion, part of me wants to go long now, but we'll wait till we get a close inside this fair value gap. And when we come back down and touch it, I need to get up into premium. But a close above it would confirm we run this high, and I would love for it to run this one and this one as well. That's what I would be looking at. But what did we do? I said, if we're willing to turn around and run this candle after this aggressive push lower, we have to be running these highs at a minimum. If not running these highs right here. We just have to wait and see. If you guys are liking the commentary, if you're liking the insight, if you're liking to see the trades on screen, do me a solid, hit the like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's see, what is this account at? I had one for break even. Okay, so I'm only down $100 I'm up 1,800 on that account from that first trade, and I'm down $100. Alex, I'm hoping at the latest by Black Friday. That's the latest. I just uploaded, how many? 15 videos today or yesterday. 15 videos yesterday. I'm working on right now the purpose-driven mindset section of my course. And that's going to be a collection of biblical principles, Bible verses that have had a tremendous impact on my trading journey. Some of them I haven't even shared on the live stream. And we're going to put all of that together. And then the only way to get in the Discord, the only way to the Discord will be through the course. That's going to be the only way into the Discord. And then on the Discord, I haven't figured out how I'm going to structure everything, but I do know there's going to be 5 different levels of membership. And obviously, there's not a cost to this membership. It's just levels of progression as far as your trading journey. And I'm super excited about that. Actually, I might even share the different levels beforehand, but there's going to be 5 different levels, and there's going to be requirements to graduate each level to get to a higher status within the community. And with that status comes additional privileges, also responsibility, as we want to be stewards of the resources the Lord has given us, meaning you'll help build and bring others along as well. And just help people that also join in their own personal trading journey, like a mentorship type thing. I probably will also be putting on there an option. It's going to be a paid option for like a one-on-one type coaching session to help establish yourself, get the right principles that you need. Everything would be able to be done through the course, but sometimes people really appreciate that one-on-one. So there'll probably be an option for that in the Discord. And then, I'm really excited about it. I've been really excited about that because this is kind of what I've been feeling in my heart from the very beginning on what I wanted to do, is to build a community of Bible-believing traders that want to do more than just make money, but want to have an impact on the world around them. So that's the goal. That's the goal, and it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. I feel it. 38 seconds before we close this high. We do have an order block. I like this order block right there. $100%, Alex. 100%. I'm going to call this. This is a nice setup. Let's see if it closes. All right, that's enough for me. Let's see if we can get to this high. We're going to sell one contract there. And then we're going to put a stop loss as soon as we hit that high. Hoping that the rest, looking at the rest to run those highs there aggressively. This order block should hold price. If it goes below this, I'm not using this fair value gap as my reason, a close below this, to get out of this trade. It's going to be below this order block because this order block should hold price if we got instructions to move higher. So there is our tag onto the order block right there. And if we push higher, actually, I might even move this a little bit higher. I might move this up here. I'll move my stops to break even. Once we hit this high right here, my mouse is hovering above it. All right, so there is my stop to break even. Oh, don't give me that. Stop me out, one at break even. I have one left. I'm going to let that hold. That sucks. Watching this original, so I didn't follow my rules on that, but I should be stopped out at break even, but I didn't do it. This is what happens when you don't follow your rules, folks. We're gonna close that. Brother, what if I don't want to go through the course since I already know the technical ICT concepts, but want to be in your Discord for the Christian community and to learn to be disciplined? Max, I need to think about an answer to that. I don't have one at the moment. Alex, is it going to be a paid one? What do you mean? What I can say is I don't know what the long-term paid, I don't know what the long-term financial outlook is going to be like for the Discord. I know right now it's going, my intention is it's going to be my time. The Discord requires time. It's an investment on my part. But I want to do that. So there has to be an entrance fee for those that are willing and understand that my time is valuable as well. Because I'm going to invest my time into it. And this is me just being transparent. So I don't know. I know that eventually these live streams, there will be a paywall in front of it eventually in the future. I don't know when that's going to be. I have zero idea on when that's going to be. I don't want there to be a paid membership for the Discord because I want it to be a community, but at the same time, the investment side of things is very large, time-wise. This is easy. This is free because I'm trading. I'm sitting here. I'm watching price. I'm planning on trading, and I get to hang out with you guys while I'm trading. The Discord is outside of trading hours as well. It's questions. It's being able to post your setups on finding out what do you think about this. There's so much more that's involved in it, and I want to do it well. So I don't have an answer to Max. I think that was your question, right, Max? Yeah. But I know there, if it's not paying for a course, I know there would probably be a cost for the Discord. The other thing, you know what? I'm thinking through this, Max. I think the only way is going to be through the course, because the course is more than just technical analysis. There's a whole section in there that I'm about to start recording called it's going to be called the Purpose-Driven Trader Mindset. And this is all the biblical principles. These are all the verses that have had a huge impact on my life, and that's going to be part of the course. So it's not just a course that covers technical analysis, which I'm sure many of you probably have watched all of ICT's stuff, and it's free, it's right there, and you should be watching his stuff anyway. But I think the area that ICT doesn't cover, and the reason why I felt compelled to do this separately from my own journey is like, I'm looking at all of ICT stuff and I'm like, I feel like he's missing the spiritual principles that have such a huge impact on our daily lives around us. And that, to me, has been the biggest part of my trading journey. Has been my mindset, not just in trading but in life. And that has all been because of biblical principles and verses that have had a tremendous impact on my mind, on the way I live my life. So I think that's, as I'm verbally processing this out, and you guys are hearing me verbally process that, I think that's probably what it would be. I'm a little disappointed right here. This should have ran. You see how it just went one and left these for later? We have a breaker right here in line with these equal highs. All of this is now B minus, B plus setups because we got so much. We're inside of this range and this range right here, and it's really sloppy. So I would not be trading this, to be honest, guys. Whoop or school? That's a great question. So in my other business, in my real estate business, I have a ClickFunnels account that I can create all of this on my own platform. So I need to figure out which is more advantageous, which one's cheaper, which one has more resources. Because I already pay for a ClickFunnels account, and they have a whole membership area. They have a whole course structure that you can put courses on. I need to look at all of those. Alkai, I totally get that. The downside is I can't control what people want to do. And I've been on the other side of things where people have the intention, and then I think people get more out of things that they pay for, personally. I think people get more out of paying for something because it becomes more valuable to. I've done this creating courses, and membership type stuff I've done in real estate for the last 13 years. And I can tell you hands down, people respond completely different when they have to pay for something. Completely different. It's like they care about it. It's more valuable to them. It's just the truth. So it's probably going to be a paid entrance fee. Jordy, how you doing? It's good to see you. Yeah, I already have it paid for. It's $99 a month, and it's in line for my real estate business, for all my websites and all that stuff. Alex, yes, I am still a realtor. I probably will always be. What's changed is my pursuit of buyers and sellers. I don't chase anybody anymore. I've been doing it for so long, they call me. So when I have somebody call me, I help them. Josh, I agree. I mean, that's what I'm leaning towards, and as I verbally process through all of that, I think that's where I'm landing. And And the other thing is the way I'm structuring my levels. So let me see it here. It's on my screen. Let's switch. So I'm going to have 5 levels, okay? And I'll share this now. And this is, so when everybody comes in at a certain level, and this level is called the humble disciple. The humble disciple. As you do X, Y, and Z, you go through the course, you start doing things, you graduate to the wise steward. It's another level that shows up next to your name based on the color of your name on Discord. And as you do that, and there's other requirements, you can graduate to the next level, which is called the market shepherd, right? This level, you have more responsibilities to start pouring into those around you and just participating with people that have questions on the Discord. So it's not just a one-person show, because that's not what I want to do. This is not about Tyler. This is about creating a culture of believers that want to trade and be financially free. And then there's the 4th level, which is called the covenant trader. This is where you've proven some of your trades to be able to get to this level. And then the final level is the kingdom architect, which is you're building not just inside helping people here, but you're making an impact in the world around you. And that's going to be the final level for those within the community, called the kingdom architect. All these levels are on Discord. All these levels, and this isn't price related. It's not like you pay money to get these certain levels. This is not about that. This is about you growing and being a good steward of the resources the Lord's given you. And those will be the levels. Anthony, welcome, my friend. You're getting a sneak peek into all the stuff we're talking about Discord-wise, which is completely pointless right now to the point of trading that we're looking at. So we did end up closing above this level. Why didn't I take that? Was there a reason why I didn't take this? I must have looked at the chat and started talking. This should have been a trade taken, folks. I'm sorry. We just swept that high. If it's me, I would want to see this aggressively run through these equal highs right here. Let's see if it does it. Oh, come on. It's going to push right here. This is what we call low resistance liquidity. Boom. That's low resistance liquidity at its finest. What I just marked out there is low resistance liquidity run. That's one of the lectures in the course that goes over how and why that works. Now the question at this point, now that we have this premium portion of the fair value gap tagged into, do we want to still be aggressive and run towards these highs here? Or are we going to do another retracement? Because that absolutely could happen now. Which big gap? Because there's several here. Are you talking about the 5-minute gap that's right there? This 5-minute gap, if we close above that, we will run 100%. If we get above 930, yeah. So here's how I'm bullish. I'm already bullish, but if you want, like, you're 100% confident that we're bullish, when we close above that level there, we are bullish. You don't want to get in above that. This is our, like, I know nothing, but now I know we're bullish. because that means we're closing above 930. We're treating 930 as a fulcrum level for the power of 3, which is our accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution. That is what we're looking at. That's assuming we get back up above 930. That's why 930 is such an important price. Such an important level, I should say. It tells us how the manipulation is being taken place, and we're anticipating this to close above and to run for these highs. So that's why we start looking for these longs down here. That's why we're looking for those. Now, is it going to be a straight shot like we see here? My guess is probably not. And it may not even happen. That's why I'm saying this is how we look at the market to give us context and how we can have higher probability type setups, is viewing the market in this way. So a higher time frame, we can even go to the 15-minute on this if you want to see it better. So we have our accumulation here. It's accumulating buy orders. We run the other way to get people to get out of those buy orders, getting people to sell those buy orders to large institutions, and then those large institutions are buying those orders down here because all the people that went long here are selling those because, wow, we're going down, we must be going lower. And then now it runs the other direction without those people that went long here. All these people that went long here thinking we're going to hit these highs now just got manipulated out of here because of this large aggressive down move. And now it's going to eventually, in my opinion, this is how I would look at this. We're looking at it running the other direction. That's how I view this. Now I could be wrong. Yesterday I was right. I was pleasantly surprised. Let me show you. Did you guys see what happened yesterday? I could pull the video clip. And I could show you guys. I said we were about right here. We went up and we came back down. I said right here, I said more than likely, guys, I expect a slow grind higher, and as soon as we hit 930, we would run for those highs. I was hoping we were going to run for these highs. We didn't quite get there. We ran that first high, and we ran it very quickly. So yesterday, I actually took that long right here to that first high. It just took literally all day to get there. And sometimes it does that. You get this aggressive move down, partial aggression higher. It looks like it's going back lower, and then it just does this slow chop all the way up to the initial 930, and then boom. It does it very quick. Anthony, welcome. I'm glad you're here, man. The real Uncle Buck. The real Uncle Buck. I have my brother. His nickname is Buck. He goes by Buck. I don't call him that. The kids call him Uncle Buck. Uncle Bucky is what they call him. If we close above this fair value gap, Anthony, I would look at it running this high right here. And then we have this first fair value gap. This is what we got to keep an eye on, because we could find resistance here, or we could close above it, find support, and then move higher. So this first fair value gap is what we're watching. The first fair value gap after 930. We can't use this one because the price before it is at 929. So after 930, we look for the first completed fair value gap, and that's this one here. Charles. That's funny. I'm glad that you had a 177 handle move. So here's how I view sim accounts. Sim accounts is the stress-free, logically correct way you should be learning the strategy. Okay? You need to know the strategy inside and out, and the best way to learn that is on a sim account, a demo account with zero risk. Why? Because it removes the emotion on your decision making. You don't want to deal with emotions while you're trying to learn your strategy. You want to learn the strategy. You want to learn how to read it without those emotions. Once you've done that and can do it consistently, then it's time to graduate. It's time to jump up to an eval account. Eval account is safer than going to a live account because you pay $29 to get a 25K eval account with Apex using the code DTJ. And then you drop down to a single micro account, a single micro contract. And now you're doing the exact same thing you were doing on demo, but you're doing it on an eval account with almost no risk, right? You have a trailing drawdown on Apex on a 25K account of, we didn't close, of $1,500, and a micro account is $2 for every handle it moves. So a 10 handle move is $20. So then you go from being able to handle those emotions on an eval account with small amount of money or contracts, and then you move up to 2, 3, 4, 5 contracts. And even right now, I'm only on 5 micros. I'm on 5 micros, but what am I doing? I've graduated through the eval process. I'm on a funded account, and now I have multiple of those. So the journey is not very long linearly. The journey is long emotionally. Dealing with your feelings and having to go take a step back. I can't tell you how many times that I'm like, okay, I've mastered 1 contract. I'm going to jump to 5 contracts. I'm going to jump to 10 contracts. And then it's like, oh, I'm not ready for that. Let's go back down. That sucked. That hurt. Oh, that didn't feel too good. And then I do the same process and I start over the process. So that is what takes long. I will consider this. We're close to the noon lunch hour. We could run it. It's a B minus. B minus, B plus. Oh, totally, Josh. So the answer is this. You need to build your confidence that you still know how to trade. I have to do this every time I have a loss. Every time I have a loss. It was Tuesday. I wasn't here with you guys. I took 1 trade and it was a 15 handle loss. I took 1 trade, 15 handle loss. The rest of the day, I'm emotionally dealing with how I'm feeling. And I had to basically tell myself and remind myself, Tyler, you freaking know how to trade. You know how to do this. Come on. Rebuke the lies of the enemy. Rebuke those thoughts. Those aren't you. So I had to dismiss them. Then you need to downsize. Go back down to a single micro account. I mean, a 1 micro account is not going to hurt you if you take a trade. Now, if you're in extreme drawdown, yes, I would be nervous. But you have to prove to yourself again that you still know how to trade. Prove to yourself that you can do it. Take a single micro contract, get the 10, 20 handles, pop the cherry, so to speak, that you know how to do this after those losses, and now be able to take those steps forward again. This is how you do it. It's such a psychological game, and it takes time, and it takes that self-awareness to know that, and then knowing how to do it. And then you can't allow yourself to become overconfident that, oh, I remember, now I'm going to jump up in size again. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just go logically and slowly through that process, increasing your size again, because you build consistency, you build that confidence, and eventually when you get your account to a point where like, all right, I'm willing to risk more because I'm willing to lose, let's just say it's $100 with 5 micros. I'm willing to lose $100 for 5 micros. That's basically a 10-handle loss. And if I lose that, I'm willing to take that loss. Maybe it's $200. So now you're up to a single mini. Maybe it's $400 and that's 2 minis, right? You make that process, you go through that process over and over again every time you increase your size. But you cannot trade scared. You cannot trade scared. If you do, you're trading for the wrong reasons. We're trading for profit, not to get back to break even. We're trading we're not trading to hope to not lose. We don't trade that way. We can't trade that way. You're trading for profit. Way to go, Jesse. Commit to the process. Don't try to shortcut the process by going, oh, this is boring. Oh, this is just taking too long. Maybe it's time to size up. Don't do that. And I'm not just talking to you, Joss. I mean, the reason why I kind of go off on those points is because you're not the only one. I guarantee you there's at least a dozen people in here like that. And there's only 50 people on this stream. I guarantee you there's at least a dozen in here. It's a high number. It's a high number. So it's such an important thing to talk about. Jason, I have done options trading. So you're saying, what's your experience on entering a trade when the spread is about 20 contracts? Do I have that correct? The C is referring to contracts? I can tell you that at this point in my trading journey, I hate options. 20 cents. Sure, 20 cents. I hate options. And it's not because of the spread. The spread is what it is. You just got to literally deal with whatever the spread is. The issue is it's been such a long time that I've done it. What is the term? It's when it degrades over time. I'm drawing a blank on the name. Somebody remind me of it. Yeah, time decay. Thank you. Theta. Yes. I hate that. I hate it. I hated it. I'd have a move happen. I really didn't have anything. I mean, it's like this happening right here, right? This could just explode. You got in here, right? You got in long here, but we've consolidated, and then theta destroys your profits. And then you end up selling for a gain, but you ended up losing money. I left when I realized there was no theta, there was no decay, time decay on futures, I left it in a heartbeat. You get the same volatility. You got the same type of leverage with no time decay, and there's more tax benefits for it. To me, it's an absolutely no-brainer. I will never trade options again. So with futures, 40% of your profits will be taxed. It's either 40 or 60. Let me see. I'm going to look it up now. All right, here it is. I'll show you. All right, so when you trade equities or ETFs, you're taxed 100% on your normal income bracket. But when you're trading futures, you can take 60% of your profits at a more favorable long-term tax rate, regardless of the time you've held the contract. So 60% of my profits are taxed on a long-term rate, not short-term income. That is the tax benefit. It's a huge benefit, I think. And with the perks of no time decay, you better believe it. That's why you can take a trade from way down here and you can hold it to way up here and have it go through consolidation. You don't have to worry about it. Because the way I traded options is I traded 0 days to expiration. I always traded the 0 day to expiration because that's where you got the most leverage. That's where you had the most and the greatest opportunity for gains, right? I did the other ones where I did it also when it was like 2-3 months till expiration when I was doing longer plays, and I didn't like that. I also didn't understand ICT Concepts at that point. So I felt like I was literally just gambling. Thank you, Mr. ICT I Can't Trade. I appreciate it. I have to throw the I Can't Trade in there because I'm not going to call you ICT. I can't do that. Honestly, price action hasn't been too terrible today. The only thing I'm really waiting for right now is in the next 10 minutes, I'm hoping that we get a close above here to run this high. That's really what I'm waiting to see what happens with that. Yeah, when you go from options to futures, it's just like a breath of fresh air. It is extremely refreshing. However, I mean, if you're going into futures right away, I would start with ES, not the Nasdaq. I remember the first time I took a trade on the Nasdaq. Holy cow! I'm like, wow, this sucker moves, man. This sucker's flying. Wow. $100 in like a second. It was a shock. Now it's normal to me. What's up? What book did you read? Okay. Any takeaways? Okay. How's your room looking? Okay. Then you can play after that as long as it's done, including your closet. Yeah, I think, what do I want to see happen? I'm not sure if we're going to go all the way back up there, to be honest. It feels more like we run for lower prices. The structure looks like a market maker sell model. Look at the hourly. This looks like a market maker sell model. But it doesn't have to go that way. We could easily get a retracement right here. I mean, you're limited to $2,000 for your trades. I took $1,000 on my accounts. Is this your first time here? ICT I can't trade? I can't remember if I've seen, I feel like I've seen another ICT name before. I just can't remember. Well, I'm glad you're here. Welcome. We created some equal highs here, right there. I would love a large candle and then a move higher. That's what I would love to see. I really don't like the idea of taking a long if we closed right here above it without a manipulation lower. So if we went like this and closed, I would not like it as much as going here and then there. I would prefer this way more. You could argue that it already did that here. Yes, I get that. But this retracement did not grab any liquidity. This retracement here is going below this. I just like that grab the liquidity aspect. Sweeping a sell side to then push higher. I prefer that. That just gives me confidence in the move. It's probably a good way to go, Sandra. We could see a retracement back down here. I don't want to see a full body. I want to see a fair value gap left. If we don't get a fair value gap out of this, I will close the trade. I don't smoke. Don't do any of that. We're looking at this first fair value gap right here. Seeing price run into that level. Got to be careful. We're right at noon, and this could easily run the other direction very, very quickly. But I really want it to hit this level. I'm going to put my sell there, right at the fair value gap low. So we push through this and get into this fair value gap. That's where I would want to take my profit. At this point, I'm going to put a stop above break even so I stop out in profit. If we run this high here, I need it to get into this fair value gap. The logical step is to get into that fair value gap. And it wouldn't surprise me if it's like a flash, something very fast. See you, Sandra. Have a blessed day. Okay, made equal highs. If this goes red, I'll close the trade, especially when we make equal highs. It needs to just push right here. It needs to get into that fair value gap is what I'm saying. And we should. There it is. All right. There's my eval trade into the first fair value gap. That was a good 20 handle move. And who was it that mentioned that we were probably going to get an explosion higher? What that was... Anthony. Anthony, good call on that. Nice job. And with that, folks, we're going to call it a day there. That was a good way to end it. We will be back here tomorrow, 9:20 Eastern Standard Time, 10 minutes before market open. Use the code DTJ if you want to get started on your funded future journey with Apex. 80% off right now. 80% off is the discounts. It was 50 as of yesterday, but they moved it up to 80% off right now. So go ahead, check those out. Thanks for being here, everybody. Looking forward to tomorrow. It's going to be a great day. God bless you. Take care.